So now let's have a look at September 2024. Before I go into the details of that, I'm going to run through the chart. In numerology, I find when we're talking months, there is a generic layer and a specific layer. The generic layer talks about or is the profile that comes out of the numerology of the month as it presents each year. But on top of that, months get coupled with years, don't they? You know, we've got August in 2024, September in 2024, etc., etc. When you combine the month and the year, you get a new level of number, and that's what I call the specific chart. Experience has just shown me that this is something, by looking at the chart at both of these layers, it tends to explain better what's going on rather than just looking at the month as it appears every year. So September every year brings us a birth number of 9, generically. Generically, we get a birth number of 9, we get an MO of 40, which reduces to 4, so I'll call that a 44, and then a reality number of 49, 4. And that's what we see every September, no matter the year. If we couple September with 2024's chart, we get a birth number also, specific birth number, of 2033, which reduces to 8. We get an MO of 143, which reduces to 8, and a reality number of 2176, which reduces to 7. So from there, we can look at how many times the numbers 0 to 9 appear in this month's chart, right? As in this month, September 2024, right? And running through from that number which appears most through to the least, this September we will see 7 4s, 6 2s, 5 3s, 4 0s, 4 1s, 3 7s, 3 8s, 2 9s, 1 6, no 5. So let's quickly just touch on that, because last month, August, it brought us 5s and 8s, and that would have also explained, or it does also explain, why last month was such a busy pressing, as in full on. Both 5 and 8, they're busy, busy numbers. And when they hover, especially when there's more than one of them, and again, depends on your chart. Do you have 5s and 8s in your chart as well? But 5s and 8s, they will make things more pressured. They are more relentless as periods. If the universe is wanting us to, clean house or sort things out or just change to a new level of being, then 5s and 8s can be quite relentless. So can other numbers. And I'm not saying that 5s and 8s are just bad numbers. They're not. They can be absolutely amazing, because at the end of the day, 5 is about possibility. I can do it. 5 is about adventure and pioneering and all sorts of wonderful things. 8 is about success. Therefore, 8 is, oh my goodness, life's good. Everything's flowing. You with me? Everything's happening in the way that I know it can happen. Yeah? But as challenging periods, 5 and 8s can feel relentless. No let up. One thing after another. And at least a few people I know, including me, had that sort of August. So, and again, it may not have been about 5s and 8s. It could have been about the astrology. So again, get across that as well. Anyway, back to September. What's interesting this September is that the 2 count is quite low relative to other periods. We have, for a few years now, had quite high 1 and 2 counts. September brings us a low, relatively low 1 and 2 count. We see 4 1s and 2 6s. So that's still, it's still more than 3 for each of those digits. But it's, in one sense, you could say that the pressure might come off a bit, especially on the 2s, because August last month brought us 10 2s. And relative to that, we had 6 1s. So positioning, place, belonging, fit How do I, and even people stuff, relating stuff, like people relating issues. I was going to say relationship, but sometimes that's a word that can get misconstrued to mean, just the intimate relationship or just the family relationship, when relationship, of course, is with anybody. How do you relate with the outside world? Yeah. And so August, again, quite possibly it brought for you more moments of people stuff, relating stuff, fit stuff, socialization stuff. You with me? And therefore quite possibly moments that's like, I just don't fit. I don't belong. What's going on here? How have I ended up in this? I wasn't there before. This month, though, it should be gentler because 2s are back to 6 in count. Yeah. So let's revisit this. We have the birth numbers of 9 generically and specifically in September 2024, 2033, which reduces to 8. So 9 is about closure. 9 is also about compassion. 9 says, you know what, there's a future that wants to come and burst through into your world in a way that you really enjoy. But before it can do that, the universe, as in I'm not the universe, the universe, needs to help you clean some stuff out. It needs you releasing stuff. It needs you letting go, concluding, finishing up on things, just making space for the new. And so September is often, even in terms of, I don't know what you call it, folklore or traditionally, customarily, September can be seen as a spring cleaning month, and very much 9 is a spring cleaner. 20338 talks again about 2 being position, fit, social placement, and I don't mean that from an elitist perspective, but just relativities. 2 is the place of relativities, noticing differences and assimilating them well, or learning how to assimilate them well, having to deal with stuff in a way that we don't get egoic, we don't get black versus white. You with me? Judgmental, opinionated with difference. We embrace difference and we integrate with it, and we allow it to be all the positive that it is. 0 can be the relationship with the universe, with the divine. It can be the need for space. And again, we've got 4 zeros going off in this month's chart. Now, that's not new. We've had a lot of 4 zeros this year. And so again, we'll be used to that as a dynamic, but 4 zeros can mean more unknowns, less certainty, having to learn that everything comes out of 0, everything starts at 0, and therefore, there's no need to fret. There is a need to focus well. There is a need to process well. There is a need to breathe well and know that the universe always has our collective and individual back, even if it doesn't feel like that right now. So 3, or more importantly, 33, which in itself is a master number, because again, I'm talking about the specific birth number for September 2024 being 2033. Which reduces to 8. 33, it's a master number. It's a healer. It's about flow. It's about expression. It's about allowing flow out of you, from you, out of others. Yeah, from others, not necessarily to you, just out of others in general. And also out of life, because of course life is a being in itself. Life speaks, life shows, life communicates if we let it. And 3 is the number of communication. It is the number of allowing communication with boundaries, of course. But nonetheless, 3 is a place that allows expression. And if we look at all numbers, really, in an ideal level, numbers are about spiritual being, not just egoic being. And I keep using that word, don't I? Almost as if it's a rude word or a dirty word. Egoic self is just about being human. We're part divine, we're part ego. And through ego, we become more divine, assuming that we work with life well, assuming that we try to be the best person we can be, really. So 2033 reduces to 8. 2 plus 0 plus 3 plus 3 equals 8. Yeah? And 8 is success. 8 is lessons in success. 8 is therefore learning. What does success take for me? What's my definition of success? Does that make me happy? If it doesn't make me happy, what does make me happy? So 8 is the period that helps us really get into that. Yeah, and you could argue that this year being 2024 8, yeah, a lot of people have been working through those paces all year. Life's been helping everybody through pressure, through the volume of things that they're having to just deal with, one thing after another. That is 8, as I said before. And through this 8 brings us to a tempo where we are forced to deal with things, where fuses start to pop in a way that we can't just ignore them anymore. We can't just sweep them under the carpet, and we can't just go, you know what, I'll just soldier on. 8 helps us get to closure. 8 helps us get to our truth in a way that is respectful and cognizant of others, but also aware that, hello, we got to live our truth to actually merge well with everybody else's. So you can sort of be hearing, I'm hoping, that this month it wants to continue to help, this year being a powerful year that is about closure, that is about building well, that is about flowing well and allowing flow to happen well. September will be no different in that. Yeah. So be aware. The birth numbers 9 and 8, it's interesting too, and even this, can sort of make me a bit excited really, because the cycle is 9 stages long. When we get to 7, 8, 9, which are the final 3 moments in that cycle, it can be very much a time that is more about closure, that is more about get it sorted, get yourself sorted so that when the future starts, you're ready to just go. So in a sense, 7, 8, 9 can be a figuring out time more than just getting ahead and achieving and, enjoying lifetime. That doesn't mean that there's no fun. That doesn't mean that there's no reward or breakthrough or success. There is in every moment of a day, assuming that we are connecting well spiritually. But 7, 8, 9, again, it's a time that wants us cleaning house. It wants us clearing up perceptions, getting things sorted so that when tomorrow comes, which is tomorrow, the next second comes, we are in total alignment with it and we are able to let it be all it wants it to be for us, and through us, and therefore for the rest of creation as well. So at that note, I'm now going to stop the video as I did at the end of August so that you can have a breather, so that I can have a breather, and so that you can watch this in segments, and I then in the next moment move on to the MO.